Welcome back, Sunken City Voyage 2. This is the Life Forge podcast. I am Adwikta.
Merps, let's talk about Shaman. Once again, let's talk about the Colossal unit. It's pretty freaking good. This is a beast. It's a 7 mana, 3/5 beast. Colossal +3. After a friendly minion dies, gain its original stats. So what it came out as.
And this includes minions that's not attached to this glug thing.
Yep. So Colossal 3, and it has 3 2 mana 2/2 Beast Taunt. So, these are taunted, which means that you could have a spell to just directly target Glug, but if you have to fight through the tails, Glug will gain the stats of the tails, and the tails are just pretty annoying anyways. So you have to have like a Flame Strike to kill off everything. I believe that works, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you're killing off the tails, Glug just like gets bigger and bigger. And then, of course, if you had any minions at all to trade during the turn in which you're trading in, Glug is going to grow by that much. So, yeah, look, this is a really freaking good card. It's easy to say, like, oh, just have hard removal in your hand. That's really tough. And especially with the core changes right now, I think you guys know just how tough it is to have hard removal, period. And it's like you don't want situations like this. This is similar ish to the Hydrolodon situation, right? Now, it doesn't snowball in the same exact way, as in if you don't kill Hydrolodon, then they will get a board full of like 3/1s, and they had 12 damage of like the 3/1s to attack your board and then divide up again. But here it's similar in that you have to deal with Glug the first turn. Otherwise, if they are trading and growing this, and if you just don't have the hard removal right away, this is hitting your face, you lose. You just lose. So it's another situation which is like, do you have the answer right away? And then of course you have to hope, if you don't have hard removal, that this thing didn't grow in the initial turn and you had 5 damage. If it grew already, then what? You need like 6 damage, 7 damage, and counting. It gets really, really hard.
If it already grew, it's just over. You just need hard removal. It's like, what are they trading? Like, let's say I'm trading my 4-drop into your whatever thing, and then I give this +4/+4. It's now a 7/9. Like, as it comes out, with a bunch of taunts, so you can't even rush it. Like, you don't play this on an empty board. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world to play it on the empty board, but it's an S plus card. It's an S plus card because all you need is for one thing to be dying on the turn that you play this, and then it is total game over. You play Glug, and you get essentially 6 mana's worth of these 2/2 taunts. So even if they assassinate your Glug, they have used an assassinate. You have played a card that got assassinated, and you have gotten a free 6 mana's worth of 2/2 taunts. That's the best possible scenario for your opponent. If they are trying to deal damage to Glug in order to kill him, it just doesn't work. Like, unless you're playing it raw. And even then, it needs damage across a taunt. So, it's just massive. Okay. That is Glug, S plus tier card. Let's look at what non-legendary cards Shaman have. Shaman has a plus tier card. This is gonna be the center point of Shamans. It's a rare card, so you don't see it the most often. But how many classes have we gone without an A tier card? That is, we just did Rogue, no A tier cards. Before that was Priest, no A tier cards. Before that was a Paladin, no A tier cards. Before that was Mage, no A tier cards. You have to go all the way back to Harpoon Gun for Hunter before you find A tier cards. So there's not a lot of good class cards coming in this meta. Like, not good, but like great. There's not a lot of great class cards in this meta coming after the legendaries. But here is one, and Shaman has another one too after this. This is Asheron Scroll, 1 mana spell. Discover a fire, frost, or nature spell. Put a sunken scroll on the bottom of your deck.
All right. And the Sunken Scroll is 1 mana. Add a fire, frost, and nature spell from your class to your hand. So, for 1 mana, you get 3, pretty freaking good spells, shaman spells. Now, here's the thing, because I immediately see people, and this is true. Like we did not rate this as high originally, but
I mean, we rated it a B plus
like
originally.
B plus. So shout out to Taro, actually, who is probably not even paying attention and playing Final Fantasy. But Taro did the analysis, and the reason why this is raised to an A plus is, at least for the upcoming rotation. Yes, there are some good nature spells. Yeah, there are some good frost spells, and you can pick them. The fire spell is the problematic one, in that there are only 2 fire spells possible in the entire rotation. 2. You either get Don't Stand in the Fire, which, if you guys remember, it's 5 mana, deal 10 damage split evenly among all enemy minions, and you overload for 1. Really good.
That
like one of the best
A tier
removals.
card
Yes.
that we rated from before.
Right. So, the other spell, and let's just go there right now. Yeah, let's just go there right now. It's Scalding Geyser. Scalding Geyser, we have that as just a C tier card, but it's very, very important here. It's a 1 mana for it's a fire spell. 1 mana fire spell, deal 2 damage, dredge. Now, if you're looking at this, this is where that synergy, that immediate synergy takes effect. You only have 2 fire spells. So you're either creating one of the best removals in the game, period, or even better, like this is the even better scenario. You hit the other 50% chance to get Scalding Geyser. You have put that scroll on the bottom of your deck. You geyser to deal 2 damage. You immediately draw that.
You don't draw.
Yeah. Sorry. You immediately dredge up, and then you draw later on. The 1 mana, generate 3 spells: 1 fire, 1 frost, 1 nature. So, yeah, like this is just one of those weird scenarios where you kind of don't even look at the frost and nature spells.
Mm-hmm.
You can,
unless you're
more
going for
options.
lethal.
Yeah, more options isn't bad. Like sometimes you will pick those, but it's this weird scenario here with a Sharon Scroll where, because of the extraordinarily limited nature of fire spells, you either draw one of the best removals in the game, period, or you get the even better scenario where you dredge up the scroll immediately so that you can generate 3 spells. For 1 mana, by the way. And that's why it's an A+. It's weird. It's like, if there were more situations, if you didn't only have 2 stupid choices, it wouldn't be this high. But because of how it is just this high.
And even if you didn't just have these choices, it was still really high. It was still a B+, which is super high. But this is broken levels of high. And I actually analyzed every possibility that this can draw, but I was dumb and I didn't connect the fact that when you dredge the card that this card just put in. So the dredging guarantee is so freaking good for this card. Asheron Scroll. It's a rare card. Pick it every time. It is super good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird. Like this is the exact scenario where the worst situation is you get a more expensive Don't Stand in the Fire, and the better situation is just stupid. It's actually just really, really stupid. You just generate an extraordinary amount of value from this, like almost guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. All right. Um, Next, we have another A tier card. It is Piranha Poacher. So, Piranha Poacher is so. First of all, Piranha Poacher is a rare card. It is a 3 mana 2/5 Murloc. At the end of your turn, add a 1/1 Piranha Swarmer to your hand. Piranha Swarmers, as we discussed before, but we'll talk about this again. Piranha Swarmers are 1 mana 1/1 rushes that have the text after you summon a Piranha Swarmer, like more, not the first one. Gain +1 attack. So every time you summon a Piranha, all the existing Piranhas on your board get +1 attack. Their Piranha Swarmer is also just legitimately a neutral card that we rated, I think, like a F plus, and a Shaman would be a D in this set. And there's another neutral card that is in here that generates Piranha Swarmers. Piranha Swarmers.
Piranha Swarmers.
Yeah. And that is Reef Walker. We had, if you listened to this podcast or watched this earlier, we got to Reef Walker, and I did not do Reef Walker with Piranha Swarmers. I thought that Piranha Swarmer, I didn't connect it, and I thought it was just a 1/1 instead of a 1/1 rush. So we redid that in one of these breaks, and rather than a C tier card, Reef Walker in neutral is a B tier card. And I don't know, in Shaman it may even be B plus. I don't know. I didn't do it specifically for Shaman. But Reef Walker was a 3 mana 3/2 that generated 1 Piranha Swarmer on Battlecry and 1 on Death Rattle. So that's the whole like convoluted mechanic of piranhas and how they swarm. For this card, without even looking into how many Piranha Swarmers it's going to add into your hand, it's just an on-curve card that adds rams into your hand at a very, very least. Like, at its least fancy, it is still adding 1/1 rushes into your hand, including on the turn that it is played, and every turn thereafter that it survives. And it has 5 health, so if you play it on turn 3, it's a totally normal curve card. It'll survive at least 1 turn. That's amazing. Like, Ram Commander has to pay in order to get the Rams. It's a 2 mana 2/2. This one not only doesn't have to pay, has the Murloc tag, and the Swarmers, especially if this generates, let's say, 2, one becomes a 2/1 rush and one is a 1/1 rush. And you have other Piranha Swarmer generators in this whole like Shaman getup for this expansion too. So your Piranha Swarmers are way better than Rams. So this is an A tier card. This can really get an engine going, and it's just independently good anyway, even if there is no Piranha Swarmer or a synergy in your deck.
Shamans can actually do stuff with Piranha Swarmers. It's possible. Like, you might get... it's going to be actually impossible with other classes, but with Shaman, you have potential there. And yeah, like, Ram Commander, you get the Rams immediately, and you can use them. I understand. Sometimes that is necessary, but Shamans don't... like, they have quite a few ways to just have initiative, right? So I don't know exactly how much you need that. And then just ton of upside here. You get the stats that you're supposed to get. You want this thing to have more health than attack. I think that this is just going to be a lot more powerful than people think it's going to be. I don't know. It seems sort of unassuming, but Piranha Swarmers are going to be a problem when it's in the hands of Shamans.
Yeah. Like, just think about Ram Commander if you're thinking this card is not like super premium. Ram Commander is a 2 mana 2/2. This one's a 3 mana 2/5. And it's Piranha Swarmers, which get extra attack. This is going to be insane in the arena. This is one of those things I'm talking about. These weird synergies that you would normally be like, yeah, the Piranha Swarmers aren't going to do anything in arena. Obviously, it's a constructed synergy. No, like, all of these work in arena now. They've really like connected this for arena in this set. So it's going to be very interesting. And we'll go on next. The next best card in Shaman is a common spell. And it is a B plus card. B plus. So this is Night Captain levels of good. It's called Schooling. It's a 1-mana spell that says add 3 1/1 Piranha Swarmers into your hand. That's all it does. So why is this so good? Like, are Piranha Swarmers really that good? Yes, they're amazing. Imagine this is just a flexible 4-mana card to put a 3/1 rush, 2/1 rush, and 1/1 rush on the board. And you could split them up kind of however you want to. I mean, you have to put them together in order for it to buff each other. But you don't have to play it this turn. You know, you can split them up if you really want to, a 2/1 and 1/1, and then another 1/1. You may have more Piranha Swarmers from other sources in your hand, and then you could create like 4/1, 3/1, 2/1, 1/1. It's insane, but like 4 mana split damage for 6 damage is already really, really good.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine. Just the additional flexibility, and then of course these cards are always just made better by the fact that it's like, how available are more of these things, right? Piranha Swarmers are just better the more you have of them. And would you just independently draft it? You would independently draft Schooling. You would independently draft Piranha Poacher, which means that these aren't reach cards. These are things that you would just draft. But then because you would independently have drafted them anyways over quite a few other cards, they are together just better. And then, like, you know, you also have the neutral card that summons piranhas, right? And, like, it's just good. Like, the synergies work, and synergies are sometimes kind of necessary now in the arena as well. Like, we've seen that with dragon synergies. Those have taken over, but you don't sleep on the stupid piranha synergy that shamans have.
Yeah, it's going to be Piranha Shamans. Okay, next we have a B tier card, which is Coral Keeper. This one is a 5-mana 3/4 Naga Battlecry. Summon a 3/3 elemental for each spell school you've cast this game. So remember, there's not a lot of fire spells, so that's the most at-risk one. But there are nature and there are frost spells. Your Alteric is still in, so there's a lot of frost spells and they're good and you're going to get them. Nature spells are Shaman's main spells. And then fire spells are what you're going to select from Asheron's Scroll if you have it. And then Scalding Geyser is also there as an independent card for fire spells. So it could get kind of insane. It probably won't. You're probably only summoning like one of these if you want to play it on curve, and 2 of these if you want to play it later in the game. But that's still good.
Fair. If you just summon one, that's like fair-ish. And you're hoping for 2, right? So that's where the score is coming from. Like, you know, we're assuming that you can easily get 1, and then sometimes you can get more than
1. All right. Next up, we have the other legendary card, Radiance of Azhara. This one is a C+, 3-mana 3/4 elemental on curve. Fire spell damage +2. Your nature spells cost 1 mana less. After you cast a frost spell, gain 3 armor. So, all good. We know what your fire spells are. You probably don't really care about the 2 extra damage if you're using Don't Stand in the Fire. But the the Scalding Geyser only deals 2 damage. So dealing 4 damage is super useful. Nature spells costing 1 less, all good. 1 less is good. Gaining some armor, probably not that useful, but still, it's something. So
it's also an elemental. If that counts for something sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, like altogether, it gains a decent amount of points. I know that this has become kind of like a meme card, but it does a lot of things that probably don't matter, but when you add them together, it probably does matter.
Yeah. Like, you're going to get something out of this if you play any spells, right? Like, you don't really care what. It's arena. If you just aggregate enough of little things, you're going to make some movements.
Yep.
All right, now we got Scalding Geyser, which we talked about before. This one independently is a C tier card. 1 mana, deal 2 damage, could go face, and then you dredge. Remember, dredge does not draw a card. Like, it's not an insane card. It just dredges. But yeah, I'm not gonna spend more time on this card. Anchored Totem is our next card. These are D tier cards. These are not good. You do not want them in your deck. You may be forced to take them, but try to stay away from them if possible. This one is a 2-mana 0/3 totem. After you summon a 1-cost minion, give it +2/+1. Now, Piranha Swarmers are 1-cost minions. A 1/1 Piranha Swarmer becomes a 3/2, and then it still gets additional attack every single additional Piranha you play. So this card, even with like one Piranha Swarmer, is insane. With 2 Piranha Swarmers, the problem is that you can't just put it out there. It doesn't really do that much. So you really do need 1-cost minions. Now, how many 1-cost minions are you going to have that you're not going to play on turn 1 if you're going to play this on turn 2, or that you're still going to have in your hand later on in the game? Not a lot, if any, besides Piranha Swarmers. So this is one of those where if you have the deck for it, this is an S tier card. But even with the Piranha Swarmers and how we're nudging you to take more Piranha Swarmers, this is kind of iffy. Because in so many times, and in so many just decks, period, this will do almost literally nothing.
So, look, I see this comment a lot, and I'm going to tell you guys, you're not exactly blowing my mind here. This is something... Okay, have you guys thought about how this works with the totem? Because yes, if you're like, well, Merps, have you considered that the totems that you summon are also 1-cost minions? Or why, yes. Have you considered how your curve works? Like, and if you're saying, well, no, this is like a turn 6 play. Okay, then what? Like, no. But what? You coin this out on 2, and then on turn 2, you have a 2/3. So by coining this out on turn 1, you have a 0/3, and then you have a 2/3 that does something, maybe, right? Maybe you just get like a healing totem. And then on turn 3, you stop toteming, right? Or no, you totem again to get a 3-mana 2/3. Okay, good. So, okay, great. And if you don't coin this out, so what, you play a 1-drop? Oh, you played your 1-drop, so you don't have one anymore for after this? Okay, gotcha. So, okay, otherwise you don't play it. You play this on turn 2, which means you're playing this naked. They play something, and this has a decent chance of dying, right? And then you maybe get your dream off of like the 1-drop plus the totem. That's your dream scenario, right? Okay, good. We have established this. So it just doesn't work out. Like, I understand some people immediately are just like, wait, you haven't thought of the totem. No, it just doesn't work out. We're talking about the piranhas because that's the actual like payoff. Piranhas are the payoff. The totems are like the random kind of, okay, I guess you get some stats on the totems.
Like, it helps, right? The totems help it. So when you have the piranhas, the totems add the extra value. But you need the piranhas. Or like other kinds of like 1-drops that like do things. Like if you play a 1/1 Divine Shield, that 1/1 Divine Shield mech that's coming into this game, then you have all of a sudden a 3/2 Divine Shield for a total of 3 mana, which is fine, and 2 cards, which is not fine. But if you can somehow totem after that, then you've got another like super croc that gets added to it, and you're like, okay, now this anchor totem did something. But no matter what, you still needed that first 1-drop to do anything. So it's your deck. Now, it could just be that in this meta you just draft a whole bunch of 1-drops or piranha stuff, and that's very consistent in every single shaman deck. And then this card would go so much higher. Like, this is one of those cards, right, where we give it a score, but you'll know how good it is from your deck. You'll know. And this could definitely be an S tier card for your deck. So we're just kind of averaging it here at D.
Yeah. A lot of times it is going to be bad, like for your deck. And also, this isn't one that, at least from what I'm seeing, you should be reaching for. I mean, this isn't like right now where, oh, pick one. Should you pick the 4-mana 3/5 dragon? Yes, you should. yeah, like you should pick that because you want the dragon synergies. I don't think this is one that you reach for. I could be wrong. Who knows what happens,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, remember we were doing this months ago, and I had no idea that the epic bug would be back. Stuff can certainly happen. Hell, the epic bug can come right back. But this is one that we're telling you on average is bad. I don't think that will be wrong, but even with that assumption, you might like see this on pick 27 and be like, "Ooh, it's really good." I can believe that it's quite good because if you pick quite a few of the piranha things, you don't need many piranhas for this to be good,
Mm-hmm.
but it also is really just pretty trash without piranhas.
All right. Next up, Wrathspine Enchanter. Wrathspine Enchanter is a epic card. It is a 7 mana 5/4 Naga Battlecry. Cast a copy of a Fire, Frost, and Nature spell in your hand. Targets chosen randomly. You gotta have the spells in your hand, and then you gotta actually want to cast it with random targets. It's just this doesn't come together.
It does not. No, it's a Naga. It's a it has a body.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you might want to cast it. I don't know. Like it could happen.
It requires certain spells, but
Yeah.
generally the fire and the frost ones do not work. What works is the nature spell.
Well, 50% of the time the fire does work.
Yes. Okay. All right. So the last card is a F. I don't know what this card is here for. Is this actually good and constructed? I don't know. It is a 3 mana epic nature spell. Give your minion spell damage +1. I do not understand this card and why it is 3 mana.
Because if it was cheaper, it would be way too dangerous, I guess.
Okay.
For constructed,
Nah,
you know?
whatever. It's an epic card. It won't ruin your drafts much. You cannot take it. Um, that's Shaman.
Cool.
Cool.
Uh,
All right.
uh, okay. That's it. We're
Yeah.
done.
Piranha Swarmers. Warlock is next. I want to give a shout out to 4P and brand new for existing and being nice to us. And we'll see you in Warlock next.
Cool.